Hello everyone, welcome to my new video on transmission line. This video is actually the third video on transmission line. In previous two videos, we have discussed some important formulas related to transmission line which are used on a frequent basis for solving different problems and particularly numerical problems related to transmission lines. So today we will try to use those formulas and solve some of the numerical problems which comes in exams very frequently in undergraduate courses in different institutes. So let us move to the first question. So the question here is saying that we have a telephone line with resistance R equals to 30 ohm per kilometer. Then we have the inductance value 100 millihenry per kilometer. G is 0, C is 20 microfarad per kilometer, and F is 1 kilohertz. And our task is to calculate first the characteristic impedance of the transmission line, propagation constant, and phase velocity. So we are supposed to calculate three different parameters. So first we'll write down the formulas. What is the formula for characteristic impedance? The formula for characteristic impedance Z0 is equals to square root of R plus J omega L divided by G plus J omega C. This is the formula for characteristic impedance in terms of line parameters. Next is formula for propagation constant. The formula for propagation constant is equals to under root R plus J omega L into G plus J omega C. Okay, and phase velocity, the formula for phase velocity is it is like if we are representing using u, this will be equals to omega upon beta. So these are the three formulas that will be needed for solving this question. Now what are the information given in this question? The first information that is given is it is the values of the line parameters. So we have to convert these values into standard form or standard units. So first is R, which is given as 30 ohm per kilometer, so no need to do anything with that. Then is given your L, which is equals to 100 millihenry per kilometer. So we will convert it into standard form, so it will be 0.1 henry per kilometer. Then G is given as 0, so nothing need to be done with G. C is again given as 20 microfarad per kilometer. So this C also need to be converted to 20 into 10 to the power minus 6 uh, farad per kilometer. Okay, so we have converted these values. Then we need another value which is omega. So omega is nothing but it is 2 pi f. So this will be nothing but 2 pi f is given as 1 kilohertz. So we will convert it into hertz. 2 pi into 10 cube, it will be radian per second. So this is the value of angular frequency. And yeah, so all these values are given. Now our task is to replace these values into the formula. So I'll first replace the values in the formula of characteristic impedance. So what I will get is my Z0 will be equals to under root, what's the value of R? It is 30 plus J will remain as it is. Omega will be replaced by 2 pi into 10 cube, and L will be nothing but 0.1. So I have replaced the value of R plus J omega L. This whole thing will be divided by G plus G is 0. So I'll ignore that term. So what will left? It will be J again omega 2 pi into 10 cube, and C means 20 into 10 to the power minus 6. So this will be the equation of Z0 after replacing all the values given in the question. Now the next part is to solve. So if we simplify it using calculator, the values that I will get is 30 plus J 628.3. This whole thing will be divided by J 0.1257. Okay, now our task is to calculate this value of under root. Okay, Now, in the last video, I have discussed is that if there is a complex number such that a plus ib, so what we can do is we can convert this complex number into polar form in terms of r theta, and then the square root of r theta will be nothing but it is square root of r and angle theta by 2. So this basically simplifies our process of calculating under root or square root of a complex number. So we will try to follow the same process for this for solving this question. So what we have z naught equals to uh, 30 plus j uh, 628.3 whole divided by j 0.1257. And what we can do is we can convert this thing into two different polar numbers, r1 theta 1 corresponding to 30 plus j 628.3 divided by r2 theta 2 corresponding to j 0.1257. Now what will be r1? R1 will be nothing but square root of 30 square plus 628.3 square. Okay, so if we do this calculation, the value of r1 will get roughly equals to 629. Okay, I'm just considering the approximate value. I'm not focusing much on the exact value because my intention is to teach you on how to solve this kind of problems. So if you consider the exact values, it may come something around 628 point some 1234 or something like that. So ultimately the answer will come almost similar with a variation in the order of plus minus 1, so that is acceptable for solving this kind of question. Now so r1 will become roughly equals to 629, and theta 1 will be nothing but it will be tan inverse of 628.3 divided by 30. Okay, so if we try to calculate this inverse of tangent using calculator, we will see that the final value of theta 1 is coming equals to 87 degree. Okay, so that means we have obtained the value of r1 and theta 1. Similarly, r2 will be nothing but square root of 0 square plus 0.1257 square. Okay, so obviously this r2 will be nothing but 0.1257, and theta 2 will be nothing but it will be tan inverse 0.1257 by 0, so it will give me 90 degree. So theta 2 is giving me 90 degree. So ultimately what my this ratio has reduced to, this ratio has reduced to under root 629 then angle 87 degree whole divided by 0.1257 angle 90 degree. Now what we can do is we can simply divide the two real parts. Okay, so like basically what we can do is, if this is the term that we are getting, so it can be rewritten as under root uh, r1 by r2 and angle theta 1 minus theta 2. Okay, so what we can do is we can apply the same concept here, and by applying that same concept, this ratio we can reduce it to 629 divided by 0.1257. It will give me a value close to 5003 point something, so I'm just considering 5003, and this will be nothing but minus 87 degree, it will be angle 87 degree minus 90 degree, so I will get minus 3 degree value. Okay, so my z naught has, the latest value of z naught that I am getting is 5003 minus 3 degree. Okay, so now using this formula I can easily calculate the under root of z naught. Okay, so z naught will be now Z0 will be my under root 5003, and angle, it is theta by 2, that means minus 3 degree by 2. Okay, so under root 5003, the value comes close to 70.7 roughly, and this is nothing but minus 1.5 degree. So this will be the final value of Z0 in terms of polar coordinate. If I wish to calculate the final value of Z0 in terms of complex number, so Z0 will be nothing but a plus ib, where a will be equals to 70.7 cos minus 1.5 degree, and b will be equals to 70.7 sine minus 1.5 degree. Okay, so the by if we replace these values in the calculator, ultimately we can get the final value of this Z0 in terms of complex numbers. Okay, so in this way we can calculate Z0 both in terms of Cartesian coordinate, polar coordinates or polar system, and in terms of complex number also. So this will give me the final value of Z0. Similarly, we are supposed to calculate propagation constant, which is gamma. The formula for propagation constant is R plus j omega L into G plus j omega C. We have all the values available with us. We will replace them inside this equation. So what we'll get is, at the end we'll get something, a complex number only, let us say in x plus iy form. Okay, and then we can convert this complex number into polar form, and then we can take square root of this polar number very easily. So this will give me, or this will help me to find the final value of gamma also. So I'm just noting down the final value of gamma here for your comparison. You can compare, you can do the calculation on your own and you can compare. So it will be 0.213 plus j 0.8.89. okay, this will be the my final value of gamma. Okay, and if this is the final value of gamma, then it is giving me two important information. Okay, first important information is it is giving me the value of alpha. Okay, the real part of propagation constant gives me the alpha value, and the imaginary part gives me the beta value. Okay, so this alpha will be nothing but it will be equals to 0.213, and beta is nothing but it is equals to 8.89. So from propagation constant we can also extract these two important parameters, or these two important values. Now once alpha and beta are calculated, the final step will be, or the final task will be, to calculate the value of wave velocity, which is u is nothing but omega by beta. Okay, and we know, or we have got, that omega is 2 pi f, which is nothing but, according to the question, 2 pi into 10 cube, and beta value just now we have got from propagation constant, beta is equals to 8.89. So wave velocity will get as u equals to 2 pi into 10 cube divided by 8.89. Okay, so this will ultimately give me the final value as 707 roughly kilometer per second. So this will be the final value of u for this given question. So like this way we can solve this type of questions, where it is asking you to calculate the values of characteristic impedance or propagation constant, or like for example wave velocity. Okay, sometimes the value of propagation constant will be given, you will be asked to calculate the alpha and beta, or indirectly the question will ask you to calculate alpha and beta instead of calculating gamma. So these can be the different varieties of this question. Okay, so now we will move to the next type of question. So the next question is mentioning about that we have a transmission line which has a propagation constant gamma as uh, 2 plus j 5. So this value is given, value of gamma, characteristic impedance Z0 is equals to 50 plus J0. That means the imaginary part of characteristic impedance is 0, and that means characteristic impedance is purely a real quantity. Okay, and along with that, what is given, the value of angular frequency omega is given, it is equals to 10 to the power 6 radian per second. So these informations are given in the question, and the question is asking me to calculate the line parameters: resistance, inductance, conductance, and capacitance. So what we will do is we will approach this problem in this way. We know that gamma is equals to under root r plus j omega l into g plus j omega c, and also we know that z0 is equals to under root r plus j omega l divided by g plus j omega c. Now if I try to calculate gamma z0, what I will get, this g plus j omega c and g plus j omega c here, they will get cancelled out. So what will left out is gamma z0 we will get it as r plus j omega l. Okay, now what is the value of gamma? It is given as 2 plus j 5. And what is the value of z0? Z0 is given as 50. So this is equals to r plus j omega l. Okay, now if we multiply the terms on the left hand side, so 50 into 2 is 100 plus j 250 is equals to r plus j omega l. So now if we equate the left hand side and right hand side of the two imaginary numbers, what we will get, we will get r equals to 100. So my r is nothing but it is 100 ohm per meter. Similarly, what we will get omega l is equals to 250. Okay, so from this we need to calculate the value of l. So just let me note down the value of omega L once again. Omega L is equals to 250. So L will be nothing but 250 by omega, and omega is already given as 10 to the power 6. Okay, so if we replace these values and if we calculate the value of L, we will get L as 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 4 Henry per meter. So this will be the final value of L. Okay, next we will try to calculate the value of G and C. For that, if we take the ratio of gamma by z naught, we will see that this gamma by z naught ratio gives to g plus j omega c. So again what we will do, we will replace the values. Gamma is nothing but it is equals to 2 plus j5, and value of z naught is nothing but it is equals to 50. So this is again equals to g plus j omega c. Okay, now if we divide 2 by 50, we are getting 0.04 plus j, and 5 by 50 will give me 0.1. Okay, so this will be equals to g plus j omega c. Now if I again equate left hand side and right hand side, I'll get g as 0.04 and omega c as your 0.1. So from there c will be nothing but 0.1 by omega, so 0.1 by 10 to the power 6. So this will finally lead to 1 into 10 to the power minus 7 farad per meter. So this will be the values of your c, and g will be 0.04. This will be the final values. In this problem, the question is saying that we have a transmission line with load impedance ZL equals to 60 minus J80 ohm, and this load impedance is connected to a transmission line which has 50 ohm, it is connected to a 50 ohm lossless transmission line. So that means my ZL value is given. This ZL is nothing but 60 minus j80 ohm, and apart from that 50 ohm is given. This 50 ohm is nothing but it is my characteristic impedance. So Z0 is equals to 50 ohm. Now what the question is asking, the question is asking to calculate reflection coefficient. So this, that means it is asking me to calculate gamma, which is nothing but ZL minus Z0 upon ZL plus Z0. So we can directly replace the values. ZL is 60 minus J80 minus Z0 is 50, and then 60 minus J80 plus 50. So what we need to do now, we have to subtract or add the real parts, and we have to subtract and or add the corresponding imaginary parts. So this will give me 2, 60 minus 50 will give me 10. Since there is only one imaginary term is there, so it will remain as it is, 10 minus j80, then 60 plus 50 will give me 110, and it will be minus j80. So my gamma is, I'm getting as 10 minus j80 divided by 110 minus j80. So what I can do next is I can convert these two numbers into polar form, and then I can take their, I can divide them and get the results. So we can do in any way. Ultimately the final value of gamma that we will get is it will be equals to 0.395 minus j 0.443. This will be the value of gamma in complex form. In your polar form, the value of gamma will be something like 0.593 angle minus 48.3 degree. So like we have already solved one or two problems, and we know how to convert these numbers from complex form to polar form, or from polar form to complex form. So by doing these steps, you can convert these things. Now next is standing wave ratio. So this standing wave ratio, formula for standing wave ratio is S equals to 1 plus mod gamma divided by 1 minus mod gamma. Now what is mod gamma? Mod gamma is nothing but it is equals to 0.593. So I can replace these values of mod gamma. So S will give me basically 1 plus 0.593 divided by 1 minus 0.593. So ultimately we will get S as 3.91. So this will be my value of S. Next we will try to calculate the load admittance. So the formula for calculating load admittance is Y of L is it is nothing but it is inverse of ZL. So we already have ZL given in the question, which is 60 minus J80. So YL will be nothing but 1 upon 60 minus J80. And if we do the conversion by like 60 plus j80, and divided by 60 minus j80 into uh, 60 plus j80, or we can do this directly via calculators also. In calculator also you can directly calculate 1 by 60 minus j80, whatever is convenient. We can follow that same process, and finally what we will get is 0.006 plus j 0.008 Siemens. Okay, so that will be the value of YL, or in other words I can say 6 plus J8 millisiemens. So this will be value of YL, load admittance. And finally I need to calculate input impedance. So the formula for input impedance is Z in equals to ZL into sorry, this will be Z naught, that will be equals to ZL plus JZ naught 10 beta L divided by, again my, this will be Z naught plus JZL 10 beta L. Now beta is equals to 2 pi by lambda and L is given as 0.25 lambda in the question, which is nothing but lambda by 4. So my beta L is nothing but 2 pi by lambda into lambda by 4. So lambda lambda will get cancelled out. So beta L is nothing but pi by 2. So that means 10 beta L will be equals to infinity or tends to infinity. So what we can do is z naught, and we can take 10 beta L common. So 10 beta L if we take common, so it will be ZL divided by 10 beta L plus JZ naught. And again here also we are taking 10 beta L common. So this will give me Z naught plus Z naught by 10 beta L plus J into ZL. So I can cancel out these two terms. Now since 10 beta L is infinity, so ZL by infinity will be almost it will give rise to the value will be close to 0. Similarly for these terms also the value will be close to 0. So what I will left out with is ZL equals to Z naught into J Z naught divided by J Z L. So this J will get cancelled out. So what we left out with is ZL equals to Z naught square divided by ZL. Okay. Sorry, this will not be ZL, rather it will be Z in. So let me rub this. So it will be my Z in, and here also it will be my Z in. Okay. One more important thing that we can get from here is that what was the length of the transmission line? Length of the transmission line is 0.25 lambda, or in other words we can say it is lambda by 4. So for a transmission line whose length is lambda by 4, for such a transmission line the value of input impedance will be equals to Z0 square divided by ZL. Okay, so this is one inference, one short reference that we can take from this numerical problem. So my Z in is equals to Z0 square upon ZL. Now in the question the value of Z0 is given, it is given as 50, so this will be 50 square, and my ZL is nothing but it is 60 minus J80. So 50 square is 2500 into 60 plus J80, and this is whole divided by 60 minus J80 into 60 plus J80. So if we remove the brackets and if we do simplify the terms, then finally the value of Z in we will get, that will be equals to 50 plus 15 plus J20. So that will be the final value of input impedance for this transmission line given in the question. Okay, so this is how we can solve this problem. Another important point that I would like to bring here is when we try to calculate the input impedance, let us say we are calculating the input impedance. This is my load ZL. We are calculating input impedance from L distance from ZL. Okay, so this formula that like for example lossless line, which gives me Z in equals to Z naught into ZL plus JZ naught 10 beta L divided by uh, Z naught plus JZL 10 beta L. So here if you see, like if you observe carefully this formula, that one L term is there. This L term is nothing but it is representing length. Now length from where or which length? So this L is nothing but it is the distance from ZL. Okay, so this input impedance we are calculating at this point, and this point is at L distance from ZL. Okay, so sometimes this question may be reversed in a way that in the question the value of Z in will be given. Okay, the value of zl will also be given, and you may be asked to calculate the value of l, or to calculate the distance from ZL at which the input impedance is some value. Okay, for example, a transmission line has input impedance of let us say 5 plus J3, and it has a load impedance of 75 ohm. Now calculate the distance, this is the input impedance. Now the question may be asked that you calculate the distance L for which this input impedance will be 5 plus J3. So here the value of input impedance is given, ZL is given, Z0 will also be given directly or indirectly in the question. So your task will be to calculate L. Okay, so the question may be asked in two different ways. Either it can ask you to calculate input impedance, there in that case you will have to use this complete formula. Okay, or it can ask you reverse way, where you have to just need to calculate this L. Okay, so this can be the different varieties of this question. Okay, so with this we conclude the series on numerical problems related to transmission lines. I think this few examples will be helpful for you to solve complex problems related to transmission lines. So yes, thank you for watching this video. Thank you.